remarkable first 15 minutes of extra time.
Oh, it's great, Tommy.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
No. I mean, this is ultimate smash and grab, isn't it? I mean, they've only got themselves to play in Liverpool if they end up going out. I'm still not confident. I'm still hoping. You know, is it impossible for Liverpool to get 2 goals kicking into the cup in 15 minutes? No, it's not. But Adrian's made a mighty wreck for the first goal that they get. The second one, you have to give credit to Llorente for this finish. But it's so disappointing. You know, Liverpool have played so well tonight without having the ultimate finish and scoring more than one goal in 90 minutes. But say I'm frustrated is an understatement.
Well, it looked like their luck had turned when the ball fell to Firmino, and as Graham says, you know, they deserved that little twist with everything they'd done. I mean, 32 shots on the Atletico goal throughout the night, and they finally fell for them.
Yeah, well, at this point, that's history. This is the important thing here now, Klopp. This is probably the most important team talk he's had in a long, long time with his players, and if he can just generate a little bit more fizz and they can get a goal. It's 15 minutes to get 2 goals. This team are very well capable of doing that. But if they can get one, the stadium will come alive again. And you can look back on it, and we will do afterwards, I'm sure. They've only themselves to blame. Graham is dead right. They should have won 3-4 in normal time. But now, we'll see, is this a great, great Liverpool team? When
we looked at the Liverpool team at about 7:15 this evening, Brian, the keeper was pointed out. It was an area of concern.
Yeah, well Graham mentioned that, and you know, he was a in-and-out goalkeeper when he was at West Ham, and they released him. Him and Darren Randolph competing for the one place for a few seasons. He wasn't always a regular, so West Ham let him go. There was a reason why they let him go. Liverpool picked him up, played well early this season. But major mistake there. It's such a vital game. Not good enough.
Liverpool need 2 goals shooting into the cup in 15 minutes.
It's not impossible. Hey, I hope we're saying in 15 minutes, just yet another great night of European football at Liverpool.
OK, and that was that. Liverpool's defence of their Champions League title ends in a night of frustration and anguish at Anfield. There you have it, an elbow bump at the end between Simeone and Klopp, and Liverpool elbowed out of the Champions League. Sum it up, Graham, from a Liverpool point of view.
Extremely frustrating for them. Well, for any Liverpool supporter, for me included. I mean, they did a lot right in the 90 minutes. A lot right. Guilty of not scoring more goals with all the chances and shots they had. I accept that you can play defensively and win big games of football. What I didn't like about Atletico was that they defended really, really well. To a man, they're putting a body on the line time and time again. You know, the 2 centre-backs, Savic and Felipe, were magnificent. Goalkeeper, outstanding. But you've got to play a bit as well, haven't you, when you defend? It's not just about hanging on the way they hung on. I think it's a very dangerous game to play. I think, you know, 99 times out of 100, they don't get that kind of result going to Anfield.
Is it a bad night for football in your view?
No, it's not a bad night for football, because this is nothing new from Madrid. You know, Madrid are struggling in their own league. They're not the team they were from a few years ago. This man gets them playing a brand of football which has caused them to come up short many, many times. I think, what is their track record? One UEFA, or what's it now? Europa League.
They won the Europa League.
And they won their own league.
Ago.
And they won their own league. And they've come close several times. It's a brand of football I don't particularly enjoy or would endorse. But it's been effective tonight. But I think it's mostly down to Liverpool not taking their chances. They rode their luck enormously tonight. And you look at the result.
Well, they've got a brilliant goalkeeper who made one of his best nights ever, and that's saying something.
One of the best around, yeah. But
and centre-halves that defended well.
Tom, I would never be in charge of a team that I'd want to play like that. If you're stuck with a group of players and you end up playing like that, you must say to yourself, we really have to be lucky every time we're going out to play like that, because there's that many balls bobbling in and around their box all night in the 90 minutes. You're thinking if it falls to the wrong person or the right person, it's going to end up in the back of my net. I just think they rode their luck enormously, and I think anyone going down that road playing like that has to be a lucky manager.
Yeah, and it was more of a thumbs down for Liverpool there, unlike the gentleman in the picture. Brian, just take up that point then. I mean, was it a victory for defensive football, or just a bad night at the office for Liverpool and a dodgy goalkeeper?
Well, it was a victory for defensive football, but Graham is right. They've played this way for years, and I think the reasons they've played this way, apart from the manager's mentality, is that they had to find a way to overcome Real Madrid and Barcelona. And the way to try and overcome them wasn't beating them at their same game. The way to beat them was to play in this style and beat them on the counter-attack. And he has had to he had to evolve the back four this year. It was made clear in the commentary, the lads said it. Very few of these players. Savage was the only one that was in the previous back four. But I can't believe the psychology of this team, that they have that ability to go out match after match, a big match, and play as deep as in their own box. Graham says there'll always be a bounce against you and the other team will get a penalty or something. With this team, they don't seem to worry about those sort of things happening against them. They're prepared to sit 10 yards in front of the goalkeeper and get battered and take their chances from there. The truth is, this year in the league, they only lost 4 games in the league this year. They've lost 2 games in the Champions League. They lost away to Juventus and Leverkusen. But game after game, they can do this against bigger teams and often get a good result. We've seen them in Champions League final twice, lost to Real Madrid twice, once in extra time, once on penalty kicks. They won another competition. They did break the stranglehold of Barcelona, but it isn't very nice on the eye. But if you're a Atletico Madrid supporter who has seen the dominance of the others for years, you probably think, we'll have a bit of this, it's fine. We're not going to beat them, trying to take them on their own game.
Playing like that, they've come up short time and time again. You will get the odd result like that, where the lady luck is with you. And you have to say they were lucky tonight. You know, Liverpool are guilty of missing chances. But I come back to, if you continue to play like that, you ain't going to win too many competitions.
I'm going to tell you something now. Diego Simeone came to that club and the terrible beauty was born. And that's the way I look at it. And he has ingrained that way of playing into his team. It is phenomenal. Yeah. It's a psychology that is so hard to even think about doing in normal football.
See, I don't know how you deal with that. If you're a player and your manager sends you, this is how I want you to play, the player in you is saying, no, manager, I want to go out and take him on in a game of football. I think I'm a better player than the guy I'm playing against. But he's programmed, and I think the correct term is programmed him to sit in there and play a certain way. And
one thing he doesn't have is prima donnas who don't put a shift in and won't entertain them. So they're custom built. And he takes the type of player in there that he knows will deliver it, and they roll their sleeves up and they have a go. Look, it's not the prettiest, but it's effective.
And Liverpool are a team whose mentality was their bedrock, but
that's a real kick in the teeth for them tonight. You know what I was going to say, don't you? A real kick where it hurts.
There's a few other places as well.
I tell you what it does. Every other team in this competition has been lifted tonight.
Yeah.
Because no one wanted to play Liverpool. After that tonight, PSG will fancy themselves, Real Madrid will fancy, Barca, and that team will win it. That team can't enjoy that luck from the start of the competition all the way through. I would put a line through them. But I think all the other big teams will go, wow, City might just be their year.
He's hurting a bit, folks. Marcus Llorente goals in the first half of that extra time were really the sucker punch for Liverpool, and the trademark Simeone are rushed down the line towards the Atletico faithful to celebrate. It was in full swing at that stage. It was pretty much a game over then. It's wind the clock back. It's all academic now, but as we look at the first goal that got Liverpool level in the tie, Wijnaldum, just before half-time, did you think Liverpool had set about their task in the right fashion up to that point?
Yeah, they were on the front foot. Atletico couldn't get out. I mean, this lovely little ball from Oxlade-Chamberlain eventually goes back to Salah, sticks them in. I mean, there's Mark, and you see Felipe in the middle pointing to Costa to come and pick up Wijnaldum. He doesn't. He doesn't want to come out of the back four to confront it. Wijnaldum gets a wee bit lucky with his header, heading it down. I don't think he meant to head it down so close to himself there. But look, that was so Atletico all night. You know, when you think over the 90 minutes and extra time, how crowded their goal mouth was. No one had any room. But Wijnaldum found himself in lots of room there to get the goal. And you think from now on, it'll just be an avalanche, more goals, and it'll be another great night at Anfield. But I begrudgingly give Atletico credit for the way they defended to a man. But my criticism is, you defend like that. All top teams defend like that, where you'll get hurt for the cause. But you've got to play as well. And my criticism is that they didn't play. I think the goals they got towards the end, you would say, were lovely finishes, quality finishes. But in between it was just a case of sitting deep, and I think we might highlight that, sitting deep and just hoofing up the pitch, and it's going straight back to Liverpool because you've got 11 people defending. And it was just a procession of the ball coming back at them all the time. That's, I think, defend properly, put your body on the line, take one for the cause, but you've got to play a bit more than Atletico played tonight. Yeah,
now while we can credit their mentality and their spirit and the brilliant defend they did, I mean, when we look at this, which is a compilation of the chances that Liverpool had. You know, it's a case of how did they not score and kill the time?
And I would say to you, it's a tale of two goalkeepers tonight. Oblak was absolutely superb in the first half. He did plenty of this as well. He was making saves all over and was impossible to breach at times. And even when he got that one wrong, he gets himself back in position. Liverpool will look back at this and say, how did these not go in? And that one in particular from Robertson, that was the big moment. But you still felt even after that it was going to come. You know, that it wasn't perfect defending by any stretch. It was down to their keeper, who was
do we know how old
really
he is?
Keeping it down.
Brian?
I think he's 28.
There you are, Chelsea. Chelsea looking for a goalkeeper?
He's not too old for goalkeeping and for an even bigger team.
27.
27.
He's been a top man for a long time, hasn't he? It's not like he's
he's there 6 years now.
Yeah, and it's just time after time you felt, oh, this is so unlucky in Liverpool. And then, of course, you know, the longer it goes into injury time or extra time, and you think, have they got the advantage now?
And you were pointing out how they were exploiting Atletico down that right-hand side,
all
down
day,
the
all
Liverpool
day.
right throughout.
For the whole game. They
tonight.
had Koke, who couldn't really live with the pace of anyone. We were looking at him, I think the phrase was, we thought we had a caravan tied to his waist, the way he couldn't get around. They were just, you know, Alexander-Arnold, they were, you know, and Oxlade-Chamberlain were making fun of him. And Lodi, the fullback, was under real pressure, and then Salah came over. You know, they had so much joy down there, but it didn't lead to the goals.
Let's have a look at the goal then that came, and it looked like it was going to be the fairy tale conclusion. Firmino getting the goal, a guy who hadn't been scoring too much in recent weeks.
a proper header. I'm lucky not to put it in with his head.
But why not them here, though? This is brilliant. That's great skill there.
He shouldn't. If you're Atletico, you think that can't happen. He can't squirm his way out of that one. You know, good header down. Should have stuck it away first time, but alive to the rebound. Look, try to get a lot of power on it, and then he's got the class.
Yeah. The
He's
sub
alive
lets
to
it go.
everything. Look,
The sub
they
lets
knock
it go.
off. They knock off. He doesn't.
Roselko didn't read the situation, but gets in behind Savage, more or less in the same position that Wijnaldum was in when he scored, wasn't it?
And at that point, you're thinking, happy days.
Well, at that point, Liverpool are going through, and you know, you think of mentality.
It's too long to go, Tommy.
Too long to go, yeah. And then you've got a goalkeeper who throws in.
Well, the goalkeeper, like, I'm looking at it. So why is he playing for Liverpool? They've had problem with the goalkeeper. Mignolet didn't want to stay around. Karius, they got rid of both of them. Obviously, they'd done damage while they were there. But Adrian had played 5 games for West Ham last year, 2 in the League Cup and 3 in the FA Cup. He wasn't good enough to get a game with West Ham. They released him. So Liverpool's on it. I suppose you're thinking we won't have to play.
Do you not
him.
need to have a good standard backup goalkeeper, don't you?
If you're Liverpool, you do.
You do. And
Ideally, a young one that's getting better and better.
Yeah,
But
Creven
Creven,
Keller is the next one, and he wasn't. I think he was injured for tonight. So
he was on the bench,
he probably would have been on the bench and would have been second.
But you know, he was cold. He never did a thing. He hadn't a thing to do all night. You know, and so late in the game, you know, and it wasn't even something to do. It was just kick it. You know,
Let's look at it in its grotesque detail.
I don't think he's trying to find someone here. I think he can take a touch, but he plays it first time. Only he knows if he's trying to find a midfield player, or he's trying to put his foot through. He's trying to be secure and get the biggest part of his foot onto the ball. But
his body.
And then he slips. Sorry, Brian. And then he slips with a shot here. He's backing off and he slips. So he's
Is it a savable shot if he keeps his footing?
Yes. Yeah. But he slips. He's like you, Tommy, going down for it if you've been playing. Look.
Yeah, his right foot slips. His right foot goes. I think he gets it if his right foot doesn't slip.
It's not
sort of
exactly in the
trundles
corner.
past him, doesn't
it's not
it?
exactly in the corner.
So will Liverpool fans look back on that bit of business, you know, where they felt they had to leave Mignolet go and have his chance of first team football, but didn't?
Well, they weren't entirely happy with either Karius or Mignolet,
He'd have been more experienced to bring in, though, obviously. And I can remember, do you remember, was it the Super Cup when he played in the penalty shootout and he starred in it, and Adrian, and he started running around the stadium as if, you know, he owned the football club. He was only at the club a few days. He was obviously building his confidence up, I get that, but sitting on his backside for the last number of months and turning up tonight, it really, really showed.
See, even that's a test of goalkeepers. You know, when a goalkeeper's in a good team, does very little, and then when you're asked, so your concentration for 90 minutes has to be there, because at any minute you could be asked to do something. And then if he's been allowing himself to drift, oh, we're in the box seat now, pressure off, allowed himself to drift. They have lots of decisions to make, far more than he ever has to do, because they wouldn't get the ball at the feet. Do they make passes? Do they go there, or trying to just put it, as far up the pitch? His decision making at that point, only he knows if he's tried to pass it in there or he's tried to get a bit of distance on it. Whatever, his technique was all wrong, whatever he tried to do.
Did that goal sort of knock the stuffing out of Liverpool a bit? I mean, they still only needed one at that stage, but then I think it's a 2-on-3 break when we see it now. The second Llorente goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Liverpool are pressing really, really hard, and you see Morata just waits, takes his time. We thought this was the time to play it, and he didn't, and we said, oh, the chances evaporated, but he knocks it in. Still a lot to do here. You think, OK, Milner's trotting back in now, and suddenly he dives in and just misses it. Milner is a bit zippier there, he gets back. Just watch Milner. You see him there, he's just coming in. He's 15 yards away now. And now look how close he gets. Had he just been a little bit quicker, just see him trotting in there, number 7, he could have got there. But you've got to give Llorente, credit. Henderson has tried very hard, as he always does. He'll get back goal side, try and do it.
I think the goalie's slow as well.
That was a good finish, though.
It was a great finish. Llorente's come for big money from Real Madrid. Wasn't a regular at Real Madrid, in and out sort of a player. But he showed tonight he's got ability to come in and do that. Get 2 goals when they need them. I mean, that was a really, really good finish.
For the next one as well, doesn't
it?
Yeah.
You see the tour go.
Here is it. Look, it was over at this stage. This was the icing on the cake. The Liverpool heads had gone at that stage, I guess, Graham, had they?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't offer much up on the extra time period.
Why not? Why was there no big siege in that 15 minutes?
I think they ran out of steam. I think they never got a chance to get any momentum going because they equalised so quickly. Once again, you're playing under pressure. They get their goal, they're going through, and then how quick was it before Atletico got their goal?
So 97, Liverpool scored 94.
So right away,
167 seconds between the Firmino goal and the first.
So you've not got a chance to get that, that momentum again. And I think there's that air coming out of a balloon after that. They couldn't get themselves going again. They stuck Van Dijk through the middle. Really, damage had been done. Really, really disappointing night for them.
Was it the energy and effort they'd expended in the 90 minutes? They just had nothing.
It's mental as well.
Yeah, mentally they were in a funny place. You could see when both managers were getting together after 90 minutes. Klopp was urging his players on. They'd given everything. They just hadn't scored the goals, and you could see Simeone say, "This is going to plan." You could see that. You could feel, and he was leading in the sort of managers out of 10 stakes of where they are now. He was more comfortable. But
never panicked,
Yeah, and we said it, and I think we're right to say Liverpool put so much in that obviously the psychology is, oh God, how have we not won this? And there's still half an hour to go. And the doubts start to creep in. But of course, when they got the second goal, you thought, wow, this is and surely Atletico can't come back from this. But I think they'd given so much Liverpool, they were jaded.
All right.